What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Payday 3 and the disastrous launch that this game has had. Now, one of the things I want to say early on in this video, I made an impressions video on this game. I think maybe the second day the game came out. They actually gave me a code, and they gave it to me, I believe, a day or two early, and I greatly appreciate that. And I actually liked the base game, and I remember I made the video. I don't really pay too much attention to, like, the inner workings of Payday. I don't follow anything, like, on Discord or Twitter, so I put the video out there. I say, gameplay-wise, the game itself, it's pretty okay. It has a lot of growing, I think, to do. There's not that many missions, but I think it's a pretty solid package, and I started seeing comments, and then I saw, like, the Act Man, who did a very, like, big Payday 3 video talking about how incredible the game was, and all the backlash that kind of started coming, and I was like, what is going on? And then I looked into it, and it's like, oh, people can't play this thing, so, I wanted to throw that out there, and honestly, I will say this, okay? When I played this game the first, I think, night or two, when I played, I actually had no problems. I didn't, it wasn't easy to find people, but I didn't have, the error messages and a lot of the problems, right, that are kind of persisting online. I didn't have that. I just think there was a general lack of people playing when I was playing. I don't really know, but what we've obviously seen since then is, number one, the game is popular. There's a lot of people that bought this game. There's a lot of people that are playing this game, and it's reaching, record highs, and it's doing all this stuff. But on the flip side of things, nobody can actually play the freaking game, okay? Now, I'm on the side of the consumer here, where this is absolutely unacceptable, and from the studio there, you have got to fix this stuff. But also, this is some awareness that we're raising, I think, in the gaming industry on a couple different things, okay? Remember when Payday 3 announced that it was going to be an online-only game? Now, I made a video on that, actually, on this channel, and I kind of ripped them apart, and I said, that's a terrible idea. And I think a lot of people, I think some ordinary gamer had talked about it as well. There were a ton of people that hated the idea that this game was going to be an online-only thing. And a lot of the things you're seeing now on Twitter or on social media with how Payday 3 is, acting up is, wow, wouldn't it have been nice if you could play this game on a single player mode, or, where you didn't have to always be online, right? Wouldn't that have been cool to have been able to play the game like that? Because guess what? You would have actually been able to play the game. Now, there's a couple problems, to be honest with you. Number one, I talked about in that impressions video, the AI in this game is still, I think, the game's biggest weakness. I think the AI has always been atrocious in Payday games. This one, they're slightly better, but they're still god-awful, which includes your own AI, like your teammates. So if they did make this game, that you could play it by yourself, I wouldn't want 3 bots anyway, but at least you'd be, I mean, that aside, right? Okay, all kidding aside, it would still be something that they should put in this game. It's still important that you should be able to play the game, because the issue is the game literally cannot be played. Completely separate from the AI issue. If the game is an online-only thing and the online is having issues, you can't play the freaking game that you bought. And that's honestly the second and bigger part of the entire thing. Another example of a game that ties itself down to an online-only thing. Or, hey, honestly, separate from that, what if it's just a game that's, multiplayer-centric, right? Multiplayer is, the main thing. It's an example for any of these kind of things. If multiplayer or being online is your main thing, whether or not you are always online, even if that's not the case, right? If multiplayer online stuff is, the main thing in your game, and that is utterly broken, at least in the launch. Here's the thing. Tomorrow it could all be fixed, and then the next 2 months it could be smooth sailing and be perfectly fine. But people bought it day one, and again, why do we allow this to happen? I mean, I really don't know if we allow it to happen. Maybe we do because we buy these products and we support them in some way. Why do games keep coming out broken? And that is, obviously, people have said that trillions of times in the gaming industry, but every game comes out and it's got a freaking problem. It needs to stop. You can't, this is one of the only industries in the world where this stuff is allowed to happen. Do you get your car, drive it off the lot, and then a wheel falls off and they say, well, we're going to mail that to you in 2 weeks when the patch comes out? There's no other industry where this stuff happens. And again, for this, it's even worse. When you tie a game to being online only, and then that function doesn't work in the game, you bought the game day one, and for the first, week, I mean, the issues are still happening as far as I can tell, at least yesterday, maybe even still today, but let's just round up up and call it the first week. The first week this game is out, the game has been to many people, not everybody. In fact, honestly, not to me. That's maybe the most ironic thing about this entire thing. The one making this video right now, this online stuff has actually not affected me, at least not yet. But for many, many other people, widespread, this is an issue. And that is flat out not okay. So I think as many people as possible need to be talking about this, need to be, bringing awareness to this. I think plenty of people are. That's the thing, and that's why I said earlier, like, are we actually, like, enabling this stuff? I mean, kinda, because we're buying it, and like so far Payday 3 is having a really good launch in terms of the numbers, in terms of the people playing the game concurrently, and even sales. Like, it's doing really well. So in that way, you're supporting this behavior, which, it is what it is. But on the other side, we are complaining. It's not like we're just letting it slide and being like, well, no big deal. Everybody is talking about this issue, so we are talking about it. We are complaining. It will eventually get fixed, but it just needs to stop happening. But this should be another, whenever a game says this, and again, this happened for Payday 3. It's not like this didn't happen, so this is a good thing. But whenever the next game, whatever it is, the next game that says we're online only, all hell should break loose on that game before the game comes out, because you know it's going to happen. You know, ultimately, this kind of situation, even if it doesn't happen, it can happen. And that should be scary, I think, to people. Again, one more time, if your entire game is online and then the online doesn't work, you paid $30, $40, $50, however much money you paid, and you can't play the product that you paid for. Why would that ever be acceptable? And so the online only thing, that really needs to stop. Obviously it won't, but I mean, we need to just keep talking about it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.